1944, the Pacific island of Saipan. 30-year-old Captain Sakai Oba is readying his men to charge the enemy lines under cover of night. Oba is one of 3,000 Japanese to storm the American lines. It's the biggest banzai charge of the Second World War. Remnants of the brutal struggle for control of Saipan still litter its shoreline. Conflict archaeologist Professor Tony Pollard has traveled to the Pacific to discover how ferociously the Japanese defended this island, pivotal to the outcome of the war.
Oh my, that is impressive. The rusting hulk of this Sherman tank, still stranded on the reef a long way from the shore. A lonely monument to the risks involved in that assault. Facing the Americans were 30,000 Japanese soldiers, armed with tanks, machine guns, artillery, and mortars. But they also had one other weapon that they hoped would help throw the Americans back in the sea. Each and every one of them was imbued with the Japanese warrior spirit.
The story of the Japanese Army's warrior spirit begins before World War II. In 1931, Japan invades the Chinese province of Manchuria, and 6 years later, they march further into China. Their ultra-aggressive approach results in swift victories against a startled enemy and cements the Japanese faith in their distinctive approach to battle.
The Imperial Japanese warrior mindset is mixing ancient codes of honor with the new brand of ultranationalism. They would be prepared to fight to the death rather than give themselves up.
In December 1941, Japan, now allied with Nazi Germany, strikes against America. The attack on Pearl Harbor cripples the US Pacific Fleet. In the months that follow, Japanese warriors sweep across the ocean. Their lightning-fast land grab extends the empire to the outer reaches of the Pacific. By mid-1942, it covers more than 2.8 million square miles. But the US swiftly repairs the damage to its navy and fights back. In February 1943, they defeat Japan at the southern Pacific island of Guadalcanal. Suddenly, the Japanese are in retreat.
Guadalcanal was absolutely brutal for both sides, and the truth of the matter is that the Americans could afford those losses, and the Japanese absolutely couldn't.
In September 1943, the Japanese chiefs of staff outline a change in tactics to Emperor Hirohito. Instead of engaging the advancing Americans at the earliest opportunity, they propose creating a line of reinforced territories across the Pacific and fighting them there.
Very well. You have agreed you will change our strategy. We will defend this absolute defense perimeter to stop the enemy's advance.
The absolute national defense zone will stretch from Java to the northern reaches of the Pacific, a fortified perimeter behind which the Japanese will not retreat. Central to the defensive line and right in the path of the advancing Americans is Saipan. A Japanese territory since 1920, the small island had become home to 25,000 settlers. And in its southern flatlands, the Japanese build an airfield. Military historian Martin Morgan is exploring what remains of it today and discovering vast structures that could unlock clues to Saipan's wartime significance.
When you walk up on it, it's regular, it's symmetrical, it looks almost like the bastion of a 19th century fortification. I mean, just look at the length of this thing. That's one wall. But this is not a masonry fortification, this is concrete. It's poured concrete. You can see the screed lines where they advanced the pour during construction. And it's thick. This thing is at least 3 feet thick. And that begs the question, what is it here protecting? And with any luck, the answer to that question will be on the inside of it.